where I live. I used to go make fun of him. He had left me there, but I know at the time it was so hard to hear. I mean, he was taking care of his own wounded persons. And Arnold Perry, I go visit him, and maybe I have met him about 3 or 4 times lately. And he lives in San Lorenzo. And I asked him, I took care of one wound or two. Were you hit anywhere else? He said, oh yes, I was hit on the chest. I was different places on his body. He got all the way to Japan. They put him in a body cast because he was hit so bad. But at the time, I didn't know where he was hit. It was so dark at night. And one question I asked him over here at home, Perry, I gave a shot almost to everyone that I can remember, regardless how bad they were hit. And he said, no, I don't remember. But if you did, I wish you'd have gave me 2. Because by the time he got off that hill, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours to get off that hill. And like I said, my foxhole buddy, always, under a motor barrage, we're in the foxhole. They would holler for a medic. I have to jump up and do it every time. And he would tell me, he told me one time, I can almost hear him say, Doc, don't go out, don't go out. I mean, wait, you don't have to go out. But I used to jump out and go take care of a wounded. So I go out, and this special one that I know was hit on the arm, very bad. It was just a mangle laying there. So I cut his shirt off and everything. I put a bandage on his arm and tie it around his chest, around his body. And then I get the morphine, to give him a shot of morphine. And he asked me, which arm will you give it to me, Doc, on the other one? So he asked me, why? Well, because the other one will take more effect and quicker. So, but he was asking me because he didn't want to look at his arm because I'm sure he must have lost his arm. I mean, like I said, I just sent him down to the A station. The doctor could see him. All I could do, trying to stop the bleeding and give him a shot of morphine and get him down as fast as possible. As they told us, you cannot do nothing up there on the hill, which is true. Even though I remember one of the medics saying, yeah, we talked about it afterward. I met him. Yeah, I even cut one of the guy's leg off. You know, just mangled. It was easy. He just put a tourniquet. I guess he had time to put a tourniquet on his leg. And another time I remember going, and this was almost continuous day by day. I mean, if it wasn't in the day, it was at night. They would get motors coming in. We would move to another hill. They push it, move back. And another time we were going up, and all of a sudden motors started coming. Where everybody lay down. And my foxhole buddy was right there. And he jumped in, and all of us, I mean, not jumped in, we lay down. And all of a sudden he says, Doc. I said, what? What do you want? Look. So I look over and see a motor. Shells missed us. But it didn't explode. But I saw the fins. I said, move out, get out, let's move out somewhere else. So he just moved out. It moved out. There was a hole. So we jumped in a foxhole, and he jumped in, Doc, look right here. So as we jumped in, there was a box of hand grenades. He was going to pick that box of hand grenades. No, don't touch it. I mean, it could be booby trap. I said, just throw dirt there on top of it. And I guess we did throw some dirt and just left it there. And then as a medic, and the thing is that he himself got killed. And I never got to take care of him. And that's one of the things that I remember a lot. The ones that laid there, my platoon leader would holler, okay, let's get the wounded out, we're moving out. Now, I heard him say it we're moving out, get the woundeds out. Then a few minutes, a couple of minutes, I don't know. Are they all out? Somebody would holler, yes, we got them all out. Okay, we move on now. But did we get them all out? That's what's been in my mind. Then I asked one other medic, David Olson, that question. Did we get all our woundeds out? And he told me, he answered, well, we did the best we could. I mean, we leave one here, all across, as they're firing at us. And one thing I saw, that only one fellow would help the whole company, the medic. The riflemen, I don't know why. I mean, they got a bandage there themselves, eight bandage. Maybe some of them did, but we needed a lot of help. And as I remember, after Kumwa Valley, Heartbreak Ridge, we came off. When we finally I took a couple of pictures that I have on that. I have myself in the trench itself. It got off for reserve. We really took the hill. And, well, we took the hill, so my friend took a couple of pictures while I was in the trench. We came up the hill to the aid station, and then there they say, hey, Ramirez, go tag those bodies up there. They're outside. They were bringing them down, the ones that stayed behind. So I go down and try to find dog tags or letters, some kind of identification, and write the tag, their names or whatever it is. The ones I couldn't find anything, I just put KIA, send them back to grave registration. And just put in the body bag, zip them up, and that's it. If I'm doing that, I don't think nothing about it. You know, they're dead, they're just a body, you know. I don't know why, like some would say, did it bother you? No, it did, really. At the time now, it bothers me, that's why I have to go to the doctor to clear my mind. And some of them were almost half decomposed. They were brought down, laying there. Their chest full of maggots, worms, and what am I going to look for? All I did was roll them into the body bag, rubber bags, and zip them up, and just put unknown, KIA, and send them to. So next day, a 3/4 ton truck would come and load all them bodies on the truck, and back of the truck, like, to me, it seemed like a sack of potatoes. Put them on the truck. I mean, they wouldn't throw them up. I mean, they would put them, but load the truck up with body bags, and that's a rough thing to see. Those bodies, they were rotting there, and that's why I believe there's so many missing in action. Like I know there was still bodies. On the revisit tour that I went in 1990, they took us out to Heartbreak Ridge. I could see the other type of hills, 851, 605, 894. I mean, how can they go down there? There's a demilitarized zone right there. We even, at that 1990, I heard the music from the North Koreans because they saw movement on Heartbreak Ridge. But anyway, after we finally reserved, I had about a month and a half or so before my time was up to come home. They say, Ramirez, I mean, they've got two openings, heavy motors or tanks. So to me, it sounded more probably interesting. Well, send me to tanks. So I went over with the tank company, 23rd Tank Company. And yes, it was a lot safer than being on the front line, but still, I had to. One time I was down at the aid station. Ramirez, no, they asked, we need some volunteers to go out and patrol one of the companies, one of the platoons, to carry a 300 radio. Nobody said nothing. Yeah, I'll put it on. I had seen the movies from World War II, those big, the box they put in the back, that's a radio, a 300 radio. So they sent me out on the patrol just before I was supposed to go to tank company. So I go out with them. They send me to the front line again and say, okay, you go with us at night and go out with this patrol. And you're going to go out and be a reconnaissance patrols, try and see where the enemy's at. This was in Hill 962. So yeah, they sent me all the way out with them. And then we're all marching down in line. And then the sergeant stops and he says, wait here, Doc. If we need any help, we holler, come on over to us. So I stayed there at night while they went out. You hear all these flares, they pop them up. You might have seen in the movie, it seems like when they go off, they come down like in a little parachute. And it lights everything, almost like daylight. And I'm out there standing by myself, just not trying to move it at all. And what we did on those patrols, we put white sheets. Yeah, the white sheets, you use at home, I guess. That's what it is to camouflage. So they wouldn't spot us it's in the snow. And believe me, it's cold. So they go out and I'm just waiting to hear something. And all of a sudden I hear footsteps coming. I know where the patrol is coming. Yeah, they come and then they pick me up and say, okay, all right, Doc, let's go. So they pick me up and we go back to the A station. And, do we have more time or do you?
If you got more stories, I got more time.
Well, I just want to make sure that, that also, and then I go back to my, now they send me to the tanks. They send me to the tanks, and then they say, okay, Doc, you go out there, the tanks are going out. So the tanks went out, and they left me there in the front line. That was in Kumba Valley. So the tanks, all of a sudden, they get hit. But while I was there in the line, there was other medics there. And then they say, we need some medics to go out there get the wounded out. The tanks got hit. And I said, well, no, nobody spoke. And I said, I'll go get him. So I get in the PC, a personnel carrier, and the tank to get it so we could it's open on top. So I get on top of the tank and go get the wounded. So there was about 4 tanks that were damaged or they couldn't get them out. So the main thing, I had to get the wounded. They were in and some were laying down on the ground. Maybe they got them out, but then I benched them up, put in a personnel carrier, carry them all, with them all the way. And so I got him out to the A station. And another time, while the tank company, I was out there on the line with them. Hey, Doc, because some of the tanks were out front, go get a certain tank. I don't know what tank this fellow, he's out there losing his mind or whatever it is. He's out there holding to another guy, just kind of crying or whatever it is. So I go out and calm him down. I had to go all the way out to where this tanker was. Yeah, so I just get him out and just, come on, let's go, come on, let's get out of here. So I get him out of the tank and get him all the way back to the line of scrimmage, and then take him all the way to the A station. Oh, yeah, the A station, well, he'll be all right. I mean, he just had something about home, his wife not writing to him. It seemed like he hasn't got any mail from home. So that's what it is a lot, just like myself. I did not get any mail from home, from my mom or nobody. Not even after I was wounded. I said, write to me. I was in the hospital when I was wounded. It had been about a month. I hasn't received a letter from my mom. The thing is, I never received a letter from my mom that quick. When she used to write to me and put 3-cent stamps. I mean, regular stamps. Instead of putting overseas mail, stamps, you used to buy stamps for overseas. And that would go quick right away and get to you. And my mom would receive my letters right to me. I wonder what she thought about it. This is part of the stories I'm trying to remember back. I just don't have everything together. It's just like I bring one of the pictures here. I tell what I went in. So that's when I was taking basic training. Oh, you're trying to compare me? Yeah, so, you know, I tell him, that's my wife's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. You know, kind of I try to make a joke, but, you know, what happened to me at the time is just, it's so hard to believe that I'm here. I say, why am I here? As a combat medic, there were so many laying there. They wouldn't even let me handle a machine gun where my officer said, who knows how to handle a machine gun, a 30 caliber? I can. No, not you, Doc. Get somebody else to handle the machine gun. Because my training was infantry. I trained with the machine gun, the M1, the bazooka, recoilless rifle, and throwing hand grenades. That was my basic training. I was not a medic. So my medical training was on the job. What do I do with them? But that's about it. I mean, there's so many things that I miss, but I don't know, like I can go forever. Sorry, just.
That was fine. What was the most difficult thing you ever did?
What's that?
What was the most difficult thing you ever had to do in Korea?
The most difficult thing was seeing my friends, taking care of my friends, held them in my arm, and they would die in my arm. They would die. And I know a couple of them that would die with their eyes open. You know, as I think about it, now what were they trying to say something as I'm leaning over them? Were they trying to say something to me, or where they were dying? And then they would go limp. They just let go, and I know they're dead, so I have to go to the next one. That was the most difficult thing to remember. I was no doctor. How do I know they were dead? Maybe just passed out or whatever it is. I mean, and I hope whenever we moved out, they got those bodies out. As I remember, those bodies that was put in body bags, was that one of them? I mean, because it took a whole month to take that hill. The last day of that hill, the whole company had to go up that hill. They were rolling hand grenades down at us. And at the same time, we had to be taking care of the wounded as they were hollering for a medic. Like I say, why? Why did I get decorated twice? You know, naturally, I got the Purple Heart, the Bronze Star with a V, and the Silver Star. See, I don't know what I did, why I deserve those honors. But as one of my friends said from Vietnam, you should be proud to wear those medals. So now I do. He went and bought some for me. So I wear those medals, the Purple Heart, that automatically, the Bronze Star, well, you gotta, and the Silver Star, just like, they gotta be approved before you wear those medals. So that's one of the things too. And like another thing was bad, putting those bodies in body bags and decompose. As we were coming off Heartbreak Ridge, coming down the line, I see rolls of bodies that were being brought down. I guess they got ambushed or something. They were dropped there. They just leave them there. I know myself one time coming off one hill, bringing the wounded down. One of the infantrymen said, talk to the sergeant or the lieutenant. He's dead already. Oh, well, send the medic to check on him first. So they sent me back to check see if he was dead. Well, I'm not a doctor. I checked on him, no pulse, don't move, no nothing. Yeah, he's dead. And then he said, well, just leave him there. We'll pick him up later. That body, of this infantryman, that's another thing that will come into my mind. Now, how do I know he was dead? I'm no doctor. I'm just I train on the job. So, I mean, it's kind of sad to think that that they call me Doc. It's just always that's a thing that I always have in my mind. It's just, I guess that's why I have to go to the doctor. I mean, so often when I get back the 22nd, Friday, I gotta go see my psychiatrist, and I'm they call it post-traumatic stress, plus my wounds. And so they rate me 100%. Post-traumatic, I say, so I take pills for my anxiety, and because they asked me, have you tried to commit suicide? No, I don't think. But I do say, why am I here? It's time for me to go. And so I got pills to take that to relax my mind. And at night, I can't sleep. Even last night, I got up about 12, I couldn't sleep at 12:30, real quiet. So my wife I went and took a sleeping pill, so I can at least sleep a few hours, because I know if I don't take that sleeping pill, I won't sleep at all. I'll keep thinking about all this. Especially, we're all together. I don't want to. When I get back, I got to order more. I'll tell my doctor.
Well, we're about out of time. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Any closing statements?
Well, when I came home, I became they changed my MOS to a medical technician. I was assigned to a neurosurgical ward. So I was a staff sergeant at the time. So that was my ward to take over. I had to the thing I had to do was just take their pulse, their temperature, and their blood pressure, fill out the chart, and wait for the doctor in the morning to come in and see what they needed. He checked every patient that I had there. Naturally, I had a corporal, my assistant, a private first class. I had a couple of WACs. They were all working under me. So I was in charge of that ward that I had to take up. And I never knew what my duties were, but I learned real quick. I guess you learn. I was very fortunate that I learned. They always respected me, and they wanted me to stay in the service and become an RN, a registered nurse. But I had to re-enlist, then go to Fort Sam Houston for medical training. Sometimes I say maybe I should have gone for medical training, another couple of years and become an RN, get my degree, but I never did. I said, no, I'm going out of the service, yes. And all I do now is my two sons, when they couldn't do things right, what I wanted them to do, I said, go get in the service, they'll teach you something. That's about it.
Well, it's an absolute honor and a pleasure to talk to you today. I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time.
Well,
most importantly, I'd like to thank you very much for your service.
Well, thank you. Thank you.